Hello guys, welcome to the fourth part of this video series. Let me quickly give you a summary of what we have seen so far. As I explained, I found few things in Mayan hieroglyphs that made me think they are close to Indo-Europeans. When I took a deep dive into Mesopotamian history, I started seeing characters of Indian civilization. Well, by Indian civilization, again, I mean a civilization of Saptajanats. It, it is a civilization of group of tribes that wandered and migrated together, and they should be founder of, of the civilization that we see across Asia and Europe. I found some interesting connections in Korean and Japanese side too, but I will just keep it out of scope for now. If you have not seen my previous videos, I would request to see those first to get the context. I'm putting link of those videos below. Okay, so let's get started with the next video. Just like any other history lover, I'm always amazed by Egyptian architecture. At the same time, I always felt some of these stories and name of dynasties are made up. Descendants and successors of great kings and civilization generally carry over their name. For example, names like Muhammad, Ali, Shiva, Vishnu, Lee, Cyrus, David, Arthur, and then there would be many more. Real heroes become legends, and legends become gods. Successor of those heroes and those succeeding tribes would use those names, isn't it? But surprisingly enough, Egyptian names, Egyptian deciphered names, Tutankhamun, Nefertiti, Amenhotep, aren't found anywhere in current civilization. Isn't that strange? So one has to assume ancient Egyptians have been totally finished or current translation is incorrect. Isn't it, guys? I'm always surprised why no one is questioning current translation. Why historians and archaeologists are not challenging current translation. Anyway, I might be missing something. So let's skip this topic because this is not part of my hypothesis as well as research. I had started my research when I found some pattern in Mayan hieroglyphs, and surprisingly enough, when I started taking a deep dive into Egyptian hieroglyphs, I found same pattern again. This pattern makes me think this civilization is very close to the civilization of India. To understand this, please join this journey of hieroglyph reading and deciphering. For this, you should know how to read hieroglyphs. If you know it, then you can skip this video and you can go to the next video directly because it might be repetition for you. Okay, so in this video, I would start with the basic thing to teach you how to read hieroglyphs. There will be many more videos that can teach this better than me, but I will just try and explain based on my understanding and I will try and simplify it for the viewers. Hieroglyph is combination of pictures and characters that generate a sound to make a word. I will start with a made up example to explain this. Let's say today's English speakers started using hieroglyphs, and here are few of the words they started using for writing. Images of some animals and objects. As you can see, I'm taking just few images here. So image of ram, cone, image of eye, a, a cream, angle, and face of human to make a sound as main. So as I'm showing below, these are the different sounds that these images should make. At the same time, we might need few symbols to act like an vowel. For example, this symbol makes sound O, and this one makes sound E. At the same time, there are some more symbols to make sounds of some of the other characters like N, T, R, and Z, as in Z. Also remember, there would be some numbers that are used in hieroglyph, and those numbers are represented like this in as in vertical or horizontal big lines. So if there are two lines, it should make a sound of two, and if there are three lines, it should make sound of three. Now with this basic understanding, let's move ahead. Let's say there are few hieroglyphs that are found in some region, and it is given to two different set of scientists. One who is planning to use English as a basic language to decipher it. And there is another group that is trying to use Hindi or a Sanskrit as a language to decipher it. Now, as you can see, if they knew some rules and they knew they need to use a basic language to make those sounds to make a word. If somebody is using English as a base language, he would come up with word for this image as three angle is like a triangle. So he will call, oh, the word means triangle. When you look at this would sound like I, Z, and cream. So it's ice cream. The third one would be ram, O, and man. He might say Ramoman, or when he sees this symbol, which shows it's a state. So he might say Ramon or Roman. He might end up saying, oh, this is Roman. Now, take a look at other group of scientists. Let's say they're using Sanskrit as a base language. Now, as you can see, the same images would have a different names in Sanskrit. And as I'm showing you here, the ram in English is called as mesh in Sanskrit. The cone is called as shankhu. I is called as aksha, and then so on and so forth. It would have different meanings. But when it comes to decipherment, it's more about you need to try out different languages to make the sounds. One thing to notice is as these languages are part of same language family, many times multiple language might give you a meaningful words, and it becomes a challenge, and maybe that's the challenge currently present while translating and deciphering hieroglyphs. So just to take this story ahead, if I use or the second group of scientists use Sanskrit to translate it, it would sound like the three vertical line, which is English three, is in Sanskrit traya. It will be like a traya cone is a three cone. Okay, of course it matches. The triangle is called as three cone in Sanskrit or in Hindi. The word which we kind of got as an ice cream would like, if I use the corresponding translation for images, it would look like aksh, z, and shur. Shur is a cream in Sanskrit. Akshar, and akshar has a meaning in Sanskrit. Akshar means alphabet or character. In similar way, when they would translate this glyph, it would be like mesh, which is a word used for ram, o, and nara, the word used for man. So a complete word would be mentionara. Now, one can say this is the name of a state that was there in ancient time. Now it becomes really tricky here. If we don't know the facts, both arguments would look correct. In similar way, If we use any other language as a base, for example, French or Arabic, it would definitely give some sounds, and most of those sounds would have some meaning. Now, how to solve this problem? And is there a way that we can really be sure that we are doing correct translation? Now, good part is we can. So let's go ahead with this scenario. Egyptians write same word on same text multiple times using different symbols, maybe for same reason. So in that same script, we found one more reference to similar country which starts with ram, and this time they are using an additional word n in the end to confirm that image of human face should end with n. That clearly supports and confirms that this language is correct to use. Also, we can't really trust based on one failure, so we need to check it again and again. So let's say we found one more hieroglyph which is like this, which starts with I, Z, cream, cone, and N. So if I really make a word out of it, it will say ice cream cone, and they are using N in the end to confirm this is cone. Whereas the other team, which is using Sanskrit as a base language, they will get a word as aks, z, shara, which was there before as an akshara, and shankhu. But again, as we can see, this is failing because it's ending with n. At the same time, there is no word called as akshar shankhu, whereas there is a clear word as in ice cream cone. So this clearly confirms that this language base was wrong, and using this language base as is correct way for interpretation. It's simple. So if you really look at the current state of translation, we would realize it's working for few words, whereas many other translations are making some sounds that can't be explained even by Egyptian speakers or Coptic language speakers. Also, there are many symbols or combination of symbols that are still not translated just because those words are not making any sense. Whatever names of kings and dynasties and queens we hear and we accept those as is, when we search those names in Google, we don't find any matches to any dynasties or civilizations across world after Egyptians, as well as these names are not used by anyone as on today. That's really surprising. So far, you would have learned how to use hieroglyph signs to make a word and read it. Now, this was one of the made up set of hieroglyphs just for education purpose. Now take a look at actual set of hieroglyphs that are currently used. You could find it on Google by searching, so it's readily available. So what I'm showing you on screen is one of those copies with its corresponding meaning. Of course, actual reading is little different than how it is shown. It's not symbol to single character sound generation. Somewhere you need to use actual word to create that sound. I will explain you that thing as we go forward. For now, let's understand how hieroglyphs are used currently and how it works. On your screen, you are seeing one of the hieroglyph which was found by Champollion on Rosetta Stone. And this is one of the great finding. It's available on wiki pages as well and everywhere on the net. So if you see its translation, it shows each image translated to a particular sound or a particular word. And when you connect all those words together, it will create a complete word. As you can see, it makes a sound of A for horror, L for Leo. There is a symbol of I which can be used as A and K. There's a Z, and then last few characters make a sound as N, D, R, yes, and a complete sentence is Alexandrus or Alexandrus. Excellent, isn't it? But as they extended this concept further and tried to decipher more symbols, they were successful in few, and in few symbols looks like they have got a wrong sound. It works in some cases, but it doesn't work in many other. And that's the exact issue I was showing you before. It's the issue because of selection of wrong base language. I strongly feel the base language should have been Sanskrit or some of the variation of Sanskrits that are used in India. It's really surprising for anybody to believe that Sanskrit would have been a core language used by Egyptians as well. And that sounds ridiculous. But as we go forward in this video series, I will explain it to you, and hopefully my hypothesis and analysis would be correct. If you don't know what is Sanskrit, then please go and check the other video. I have provided link below for Sanskrit. Sanskrit is one of the most powerful language even as on today, because that is a language which can be used to write any sound, and you can understand its power when you go and check that video. I hope this was interesting and helpful video for all of you history lovers. So I will just stop here and we'll meet again in my next video. Bye bye.